Today we're going to take a look at creating drawings using non-traditional drawing tools, and we're probably all familiar with the traditional drawing tools such as pencils, pens, brushes, pastels, and so on. But perhaps you've overlooked some other materials that you can use as drawing tools. For example, sticks. We're going to be using some ink with this, and we're also going to throw in a couple stones. And you can virtually make a mark with almost anything, so feel free to experiment and see what kind of different marks you can make. For example, with this stick, I can use the fat end and create a fat mark that gradually gets smaller. It gives me some line quality. Or I can just turn it on its side and I can create some really precise lines with it as well. So I've got a variety of different types of marks I can make with this, just depending on how I hold the stick and also how much ink I decide to put on it. You can also let some of the ink dry, and you kind of get some dry brush type techniques. Really get some interesting marks with this. And if you want a precise line, a more precise line, of course, you can use a smaller stick, and it will give you an extremely precise line. Now, you don't get these types of marks really when you use a pen, obviously, because it's got a consistent surface from which the ink comes from. Even with a nib pen, you get a little bit more variety with a nib pen, but not quite as much. Use whatever you want. Here's a stone, and I'm just making some marks with a stone. You see it's creating some really nice marks on the surface. More ink, you create a fatter line. You can also just let some of that ink maybe drip right off the end of the stone, just like that. Create all kinds of interesting marks with that as well. So anyway, you need to think about creating different types of marks. We all know that line quality is important, variety is important in your artwork as well, so don't overlook non-traditional drawing tools. This has been another video tutorial brought to you by virtualinstructor.com.